when it comes to the narrative that is being pushed against Asian people, stop. Straight up, just stop. Because when legacy media cherry picks the stories that they put on the news, you need to learn to stop going by the one story that you see. You need to start looking at the facts.
I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston, I'm Jack.
British man goes on angry rant against illegals causing violence. Video by Black Conservative UK. Not gonna lie, I've only found this guy today, and I had no idea that there was channels like this who openly just say Black Conservative UK, even when conservatives aren't really gonna do much for you in terms of the average working person. So to side with somebody like that makes no sense to me. Not gonna lie to you. But anyway, let's see what he has to say.
Alright, so guys, before we get into the video I'm going to watch today and react to, first things first, and that is rest in peace to Wayne Waters.
Yeah, rest in peace to my man.
That was simply walking his dog until a thug arrived and decided to take him out and stab him several times. I've seen the video footage on X and it's absolutely sickening.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't seen this video, but the fact that that can happen, that's always been a thing of the world. Anybody and anybody can just randomly take out a knife and kill you. Okay, that's always been a thing. And I obviously don't condone something like that. People being able to just take out somebody else's life, that's a psychopathic, fucked up thing that ever happens. So yeah, I don't fuck with people doing that, going out of their way to go and kill random civilians for no reason at all. I will never fuck with that. So that's what I'd say.
For you to just be walking your dog, broad daylight, he probably wasn't thinking anything of it. He
That's
probably
fucked.
said, let's just go out for a walk, let's get some fresh air, until the devil in human form came to him and decided to take him out in a very cowardly way.
Right.
People are sick and tired in the United Kingdom, and minorities are sick and tired as well. And for so long in the United Kingdom, people on the left, centre, right, wherever you land on the political spectrum, that's irrelevant. They've been saying and voicing out their concerns that this immigration policy, this border policy the UK is adopting, is failing and it's flawed. No one feels safe. Women are not safe. Children are not safe. Men are not safe.
So when you're pointing at these border policies and thinking, oh, they're raising the crime rate, when realistically they aren't committing they're not committing most of the crimes in the UK, right? In fact, I actually found this out today. So this is a stat that I was trying to show you guys. Yeah. So I asked ChatGPT, what percentage of crimes in the UK happen at the hands of an Asian person? Because this is the usual suspect they like to put on GB News, that the narrative gets pushed upon the working class, working people like yourself, that Asian minority people who are Islamic, because majority of Muslims are Asian, as we all know this, right? They always push this narrative that they're all your women, killing all your people, etc, etc. So first things to know, so the Asian population in the UK is only 9% of the population, right? That's the first fact. Yeah. Second fact, defendants in the UK identified as Asian commit 7% of the crimes in the UK. So they are actually underrepresented inside of the justice system. The stats are right there. Proof is right there in the pudding. So when it comes to the narrative that is being pushed against Asian people, stop. Straight up, just stop. Because when legacy media cherry picks the stories that they put on the news, you need to learn to stop going by the one story that you see. You need to start looking at the facts and realize, no, just because they're Muslim doesn't mean they're more likely to do anything, because it's actually the underrepresented. Okay? Cool.
Immigrants are not safe. An Indian man lost his life to a Somali immigrant not too long ago. An Indian man. in the United Kingdom. He got stabbed in the back. I believe he was lining up.
Now he's obviously making the argument for immigrants. Let's go and try and find any stats on this. I went to go look up this on ChatGPT. What I searched was, what percentage of crimes in the UK are at the hands of a first generation immigrant, right? What I found was this. Given the data, non-citizens account for roughly 13% of convictions in recent years, right? If you assume first generation immigrants are roughly similar or slightly higher, one might guess something like 10 to 20% of convictions can involve people born abroad or non-citizens, but this is highly speculative and should not be taken as a definitive figure. Remember that. So there's also a point to be proven that in 2017 they stopped taking in ethnic backgrounds in terms of crime data. So in December 2017. Let's disregard it. Right? Then I searched on ChatGPT, what percentage of the UK are non-citizens? It's 9%. Roughly 9%. So pretty much it's at the same base rate of their population. Pretty much the same. Okay? So no, the immigrants, you cannot decisively say immigrants are over here raping your women, killing your children, or anything like that. You cannot say conclusively. Okay? That's the facts. That's just the facts. Moving on.
The queue in a bank. He got stabbed in the back by a Somali illegal immigrant, and he's gone. So everyone has voiced their concerns about this poor immigration policy, and the government is absolutely not listening to it. And they will be bringing more people over across that border to the United Kingdom, even though chaos is literally happening. Chaos. Everyone's biggest nightmares that they could have ever imagined.
So when he says that there's chaos happening, right, in terms of the UK, crime rate has obviously gone up, right? But he never outlines why. But he's obviously alluding to the reason being that our borders are terrible. When realistically, we already know they're committing crimes at the same rate of their population, in line with their population. So you can't blame the immigrants. Okay, that's the first thing. In terms of the chaos, there is definitely chaos in the UK. 100% there's chaos in the UK. Letting out convicted felons by accident, that's not anything that should ever happen. Overpopulation inside of our prisons, that's obviously mismanagement of funds, mismanagement of funding, etc. Yeah? Which should not be happening ever. 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 But the reasons why I give to crime rate being the way it is obviously, I always say it time and time again, the poorer your working class are, the more likely crimes are going to happen, right? The poorer we get, the higher the crime. Okay? That's just the baseline. So that's why there's chaos in the UK, because the normal working class and the middle class are being squeezed by people who are billionaires, multi-billionaires, multi-millionaires, who are squeezing the wealth from the middle class and the working class. As that happens, people are going to be in more desperate situations, right? Tension is high. You're going to see more crime regardless, bro. The less money you have to spend to be able to look after your children, to be able to even look after yourself just on your own, the harder that gets, the more likely crime will happen. That's just a fact.
Imagined in relation to illegal immigrants, and now they're reality and they're seeing it, and they are absolutely wrecking the United Kingdom. They don't even care. Forget about assimilation. That's done. That conversation is gone now. They're just declaring war. And this recent influx of immigrants that are coming in do not care, and they're here to absolutely terrorize and destroy.
See, at this point, once again, they're committing it in line with their population. So you cannot just blame them for being immigrants. You can't just blame immigrants on raising your crime rate, when that's just a lie. Straight up lie. It's in line with their population, my friend. Okay?
And that's literally just it. They're here to terrorize and destroy. So yeah. But will this Labour government listen? Absolutely not. They won't. The worst thing is, they won't do anything about this. All they'll do is offer some fake condolences, and that's it. No one cares about condolences. Close the border. It's very simple. But they won't do that.
See, the thing is about closing the borders, I truly believe that would be the dumbest decision ever made. Now, look, if you listen to this guy, right? If we close all our borders to every single migrant that wants to come over here, it doesn't do anything good for the economy. Nothing good. We already saw a Brexit, so we already know that doesn't fucking work, mate. Okay, so that solution doesn't make any sense, right? And I get where he's coming from. He's obviously coming from a point where he's tired of seeing this on the news. He's tired of seeing people struggle. He's tired of seeing crime going up. He's tired of it. I understand. I completely understand, and I empathize with that, because I don't want to see that shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see people struggling to just pay the rent, put heating inside of their homes, struggle to eat. I don't want to see that shit either. But one thing I know for a fact, blaming immigration is not going to solve your fucking problems, mate. It'll only make it worse. It'll only make it worse. Because as you guys are inside fighting amongst each other, you're letting the billionaires, multi-millionaires who are stacking wealth by doing nothing, sitting around at home, letting their passive income accumulate, taking money from you guys. As you let that happen, you become poorer and poorer, and you will see crime rate raise exponentially. So don't blame immigration, my friend. Blame the billionaires and the millionaires who are taking money from your pockets. Okay? If I can find the quote, if I'll find it, I'll put it on the screen. But don't listen to immigrants being the problem. That is not your flipping problem. Your problem is you're getting poorer. Just remember that.
Okay.
Please.
No more protests.
Right.
No more marches.
Right.
No more stage.
Right.
No more speakers. We need the English lads to make a point.
Now, when he says that, look at the brother on the right. You see how he scratches his nose? Because he heard the white brother say, English lads. That doesn't include you, my friend. That don't include you, bruv. You're British, not English, bruv. There's always a distinction. If you live in the UK, you know that's the distinction. Yeah? Just because you're born there doesn't mean you're English. It means you're British. Yeah, that's why he scratches his nose. Because he realizes, oh wait, he's not talking about me either. Just saying. But he's obviously the white brother is obviously saying no more protest, no more things, no more fighting for rights. That doesn't make that. What does that do? What does that do? Now, what does that solve when you tell people no more protest, no more this, no more that, right? No more speaking up about inequality, right? Or discrepancies. What does that do? I'll tell you what it does. I'll tell you what that fucking does. It leaves things the way they are. Instead of improving our country, we stay shit and we keep on being shit. Why the fuck would you want that? Stupid point.
A point that unfortunately has to be made.
Right. What point?
I understand that we all need to keep our heads screwed on.
Mm-hmm.
But it's too common now. It is too common.
Mm-hmm.
That the dangers that are around our children are prevalent in every corner of this country.
Okay, that's always been the case, my friend. Do you want to bring up some stats? Let's bring up some stats. Let's bring up some stats. White people commit more crime on white people at a higher rate than any other minority towards white people. So white people being the higher victim. You're more likely, like if you're a white person, you're more likely to be stabbed or etc. by the hands of another white person. It's just facts, bro. So this has always been a part of the UK where we have crime. So why is it only now when you're seeing a migrant do it? Now you're like, oh no, that's a problem. That's a problem. But isn't it also a problem inside of the white community, black communities, every community? It's just a problem.
Just today, I've listened to GB News tell the country that there are Muslim men living in army barracks, and when they checked their Snapchat, they found that these men have been heavily armed in places like Sudan, Syria, and I'm talking AK-47s, I'm talking hundreds of rounds, I'm talking Rambo knives, I'm talking Afghan migrants picking random people off the street, English people, murdering them in cold blood.
And you see this narrative that you're trying to push, that only people who are from other countries are able to kill in cold blood, as if a white person can't do the same. That's interesting. So obviously allowing people who are war veterans from other countries, who have been and seen the horrors of war, let into your country without helping them assimilate into your country, there's going to be a fucking problem, mate. Of course there's going to be a problem. The same thing happens with British Armed Forces who come back with PTSD and then they come back doing mad things. It's like, oh wait, war is just bad for the mental health of a human being. Should look at that. But this guy will not point to those people. This man will not point to them. He'll only point to the migrants. It's a mental health problem. Across the board, no matter what race, culture, ethnicity you are, if you go to the arts of war, you have a high likely chance that you're going to become a completely different person by the time you come home. And you might have some mental health issues. This happened during World War II, World War I. When British soldiers come back, they're not the same. It's just the same across the board. As humans go to war, it's not good for the human brain. It's just not.
And what we heard from the
but no, all he'll point at is the fact that he's from Sudan and he's seen AK-47s and all the likes of it. You know, armed soldiers are having whole tanks, missiles, AK-47s, M16s, whatever. They're having guns as well. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's trying to paint a picture as if the Asian migrant is the only one who's capable of seeing bad things in war. So what, you think only British soldiers are just going out and they're just using a pistol? Some dumb shit like that, bro. And just killing deer? Come on now.
Prime Minister, what solutions are going to be put in place to safeguard us? Nothing. Malcolm X once said that when your community is being targeted, being murdered, and the officials and the government and the police do nothing to really protect you, it is our commitment to our families, to our religion, to our country, and most importantly, to our children, that we will protect them. So it's time to stop marching, it's time to stop protesting, and it's time that we take a leaf out of the book of our ancestors and our forefathers, and we do something to show them that we are not messing around anymore. No women, no children will be at this meet, we're going to call it. No vulnerable people, no disabled, just men.
You see what he's inciting right now? He's inciting war amongst. This man wants a civil war in the country that he lives in. Why would you ever want your country to go through war? Does this sound like a man who wants peace, bro? This don't sound like a man who wants peace. That's a problem. I don't want to see people die. I don't want to see that shit. Nobody wants to see that shit. Unless you're a psychopath, then yeah, of course you want to. I don't want to kill nobody, bro. And I'm pretty sure the majority of the public don't want to kill anybody. So I don't get why he thinks violence will solve violence, when realistically, that's exactly what establishments want. That's exactly what these millionaires want. But the thing is, there's another perspective where it's like, if we destroy our own economy, then everybody's fucked. Because now, if you look at flipping Iraq, look how fucked their country is, bruv. And then we'll be doing the exact same thing that the people from Iraq, Syria, these war-torn countries, they're doing exactly the same thing over here. But they come here from war-torn countries, seeking refuge. And if our country is going through the same thing, but people will just leave and try and find somewhere safe, refuge. Why would you want war, bro? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Just saying.
Now, why should you come? Why should you do whatever is called upon? Why should we do it? Because I tell you now, I would rather take one for the team and do what's necessary for this country and for my children than sit back and let these savages run riot in our country. We are England. This is England. Think about what our forefathers done for us.
This is England, man. The country that pillaged every other country inside of the British Empire. You know, pillaged, killed, exterminated. Whole lineages to get whatever they wanted. That sounds like a savage to me. Right? Just saying. And let's not forget, in line with populations, white people commit more crime. Not outside of their population, like as in out of proportion to their population. I'm not saying that. I'm saying as a percentage, white people commit the most crime in the country. Right? So does that mean I should be scared of every white person? No. But that's what he's trying to incite on the Asian community. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. As if no other man of any other ethnicity is not capable of being a savage. It's called being a human. Human nature, bruv. Every country around the globe is capable of being a savage, including the UK. So let's not act like it's just one type of community that does it. Stupid shit.
They would be ashamed of us. Every single ounce of us should be ashamed. Enough is enough. Very, very soon that call is coming. And I hope that those that are fed up, those that are angry, those that are literally look at their lives and see their kids' futures.
You see, and I understand exactly what the problem is that he's going through. He's scared for his children. He's scared for what's to come. He's scared about the future. I understand exactly where he's coming from, right? But this ain't the way, brother. It ain't the way, bro. Inciting violence just causes more violence, bro. The more energy you put into one thing, the more focus and attention you give to one type of rhetoric, the more you will see of it. What you see is all there is. It's as simple as that. But the main problem that he's going through is an inequality problem, where wealth inequality problem, where he has less buying power than he would have had 10, 20 years ago. Right? And he's scared that that's going to happen to his children. I understand exactly where he's coming from. But he thinks that immigrants are the problem. And this is exactly what GB News tries to push to you. And when I say to you, I'm talking to the people that are in my comments saying that I'm a clown, when realistically, we're all experiencing the same fucking problem. No matter what minority, ethnic group you are, nationality, whatever. Across the globe, by the way. Wealth inequality is the problem, not another person's culture. That's not the problem. Simple as that.
Blowing away in the wind because we're just sitting back and letting this happen, while an innocent man walking his dog is literally brutally murdered on the streets of Uxbridge. while our women are being raped, our children are being sexually assaulted. Man the fuck up. It's fucking time.
He's just one of many that's super fed up, but he absolutely needs to be careful, because I know that police will probably be looking for him because of what he said. This is how the government, you know, this is how they prioritize who they go for. They leave the border completely open until people coming in start causing enough havoc for someone like him to voice his concerns on social media, and then they send police to his door to arrest him. So yeah, but look, people are sick and tired of this. I don't know how many times I have to say this. I hope that violence, you know, it doesn't lead to violence. You know, I'm against violence, and I'm big on using your voice to accomplish change. You know, I never want to see any blood be spilt. You know, I'm against that. And this is exactly what the establishment want. They want this. They want everyone to go crazy so that when they crack down on it, they can bring about some new orders. So I know what they are trying to do. They're trying to wind people up to the point where when they rebel, they're gonna now say, oh, look at this rebellion, so now we need to enforce X, Y, and Z, and they're gonna use that to crack down even more so on the population.
100%. 1000%. But by making a video like this and telling people to close the borders, you're literally helping out the establishment do exactly what they want to do. So, as much as you're saying the establishment, they want us to be infighting, they want us to be able to fight amongst each other, to where now they have to put in some control measures to have more control over you, which is true. This is going to happen. This is going to happen if you keep thinking immigrants are your problem. This is not. They aren't. You being poorer is the problem. You being not able to build wealth is a problem. You not having freedom to be able to open up your own business, look after your own children by yourself without your wife being able to work, having to work, or vice versa. That's the problem. So don't listen to this noise of immigrants being your problem. It's not your problem.
So yeah, but look, someone like him is absolutely frustrated alongside many others.
The whole time?
Hundreds of thousands, millions others in the United Kingdom. And they literally just want to see change. You know, so this Labour government really need to think about what they're doing, and you know how it is causing a huge rift in the UK between people from different communities. And they just need to make amends to what's been going on, because, you know, right now, if the country keeps going in the way it's going in, then honestly, guys, I don't even want to say it, but I just dread to think what can happen down the line. Because if it gets to that point where this happens, then in 2025, end of 2025, 2026, 2027, that's the last thing that we want to see, especially after we've seen some really horrific wars and things that have been happening and still currently ongoing wars. So the last thing we want to see is UK blood be spilled in the United Kingdom, honestly.
It's a very scary issue that we have in UK, where people think immigrants are the problem. They are not your problem, man. I promise you. I promise you, they are not your problem. I already showed you the day, I already showed you the facts. Okay? The only thing that's going to change your life around is voting for the Green Party, who are actively trying to help you and save you by putting in wealth taxes, making it to where somebody who, let's say a business owner, at a 10-to-1 ratio on salaries, where the person who is at the bottom in terms of salary and the person at the top who makes the most, the maximum that person at the top is allowed to make is only about 10x. Is only 10x. These types of policies are what's going to actually change your life around. So stop thinking these immigrants are your problem. That's my final point. You guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. Whether I'm chatting was. And yeah. Till next time. Love.